Okay, we're here tonight to discuss the return to play information that was sent out to all parents and all students. If you have any specific questions as we go through here, please feel free to put your question in the chat box. First, I want to introduce a couple of important people in my life as far as an athletic director. First is my mentor, Joanna Wiggins. She's here today. She's the athletic director for Riverside High School. They had their meeting last night, and the information seemed to go well, so we'll pass along a lot of information there. Joanna's going to be paying attention to the chat box tonight for us. If you can do that, Joanna, I'd appreciate that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask as we go through. The other person I would like to introduce is our brand new cross-country coach. Mark Doctor is here in the meeting. So Coach Doctor, welcome. Thank you for joining the Argonaut family. For those of you that might be interested in a little of his background, he is 15 plus years, I believe, head coach of Cathedral Cross Country. He had upwards of 75 to 100 runners every year on that team. So, we are very excited to have him on board with us and excited about the start of that program under his leadership. You may recognize another coach that's working with him, Sarah McManus. She's one of our English teachers on campus, so at least we'll have, it's always nice to have a coach on staff in the building to help relay information or to help kids out, athletes out, or whatever. But we do want to welcome Mark. Okay, so let's go through just a quick review of our established teams at Riverside. I'm using the word established because as a young program, we're always seeking to add new teams along the way. And so these are the ones that we currently do have. For this particular meeting, we're only talking about the first line for fall sports: volleyball, cross country, soccer. We're going to push off winter and spring workouts for those until September. One of the main reasons we want to do that is because we are trying to limit the number of people that are in the building at any one time. And as we just saw, released today, our mayor here in Indianapolis has made it mandatory for masks on July 9th. I did not read anything in his release that said anything about activities or high school sports or something like that. So I had to change a little bit of the information on the ready for play sheet. If you've read through that, you'll probably notice when we get there the changes, and I'll try to highlight them as we go through there. Okay. All right. So first, fall sports. If you are an incoming freshman, then it may be news to you that we actually start our fall sports before school starts. So August 3rd is the first day of practice for all of the sports that we have. That is the day that trials will begin, and they'll be going every day. You need to take in on that in order to get the full amount of participation. School starts on August 12th. Our first matches are allowed to begin on August 15th. And so that is a very quick turnaround. IHSAA has a rule that states that you must have 10 practices. You must have 10 practices in before you can compete. And if you look at the calendar, August 3rd to August 15th, that's like that's like exactly 10 school days. So if you are late to getting started, then you'll probably miss some competitions early on. We're here to talk about the return to play guidelines, so that will be hitting now. First and foremost, we got to get ready to play, and that begins with an athletic physical. The IHSA has extended the deadline on all physicals. Not deadline, I should say expiration date. That's probably a better term there. From all physicals of last year. So if you competed with one of our teams last year and your physical is on file with me, that will also be good for the next coming school year. Okay? The decision was made that it would help eliminate the the demand on our medical system if they extend a 10-year year. But they are going to ask you to sign the waiver, which was also sent to you. Okay, and that will act in lieu of the physicals for this coming year. If you are an incoming freshman, we are going to ask that you do a brand new physical. It must be on the IHSA form. You can find that on their website. Actually, you can find it on our website as well. Go riversideathletics.com. If you are a transfer, chances are you're probably going to have to get a new physical, unless you can contact your old school and get a copy of your physical. And if it was on IHSA form, we will accept that as well. We've divided our return to play into 3 phases. The first phase is going to run from July 6th to July 19th. And that's the ones that we are talking about right now. Okay. We're talking about phase 1 today. Our phase 2 is very similar, just with little tweaks, and I don't want to get too involved with phase 2 or 3 because changes could come, like the big change that happened today with the mayor's announcement. So when you show up to play for the first day, here are the 4 things that we are going to require. Every athlete must have these, or we will ask that athlete to return to home. And first and foremost, we just talked about is the physicals. You must make sure your physical is on file with me. Handing it to me at that first practice is also okay. The IHSA Health History Update Questionnaire and Consent and Release Certificate, that was sent to everyone as well, okay, in that previous email that I sent out to everybody. So that needs to go over. It's basically a questionnaire asking you, were you sick at any time? And then we'll handle it from there based upon your answers. I added the mask in here because we want the students to be wearing their mask from your car into the building. They'll wear their mask the entire time that they're in the building. And then once play commences, once practice starts, then the coach will be instructing the players when to take that off. And then you got a to-go bag. We'll go over the contents of that to-go bag. That is brand new for everybody. We did not have that last year, so make sure that you have that ready to go. As stated, practices for ICS can begin July 6th. Okay, there are some programs around the state, some schools that are allowing practices to begin before that. And that's totally up to them. We chose July 6th as ours. These are summer workouts, and so these are completely optional. Remember, August 3rd is the first day of tryouts. That's when the mandatory practices begin. Okay. And then, as we mentioned, only fall sports will be on campus. Okay, winter and spring sports, we're going to hold them off until September to begin their off-season workouts. Okay, I have confirmed with 2 of our coaches what their summer program is going to look like. Volleyball is going to start on July 8th, Wednesday at 4:30. For this first few weeks, it looks like they're only going to go once a week due to the coach's schedule and some other issues along there. But if he can get with his assistants and if they can host other ones, then they may do that as well. But for right now, that's Wednesday, July 8th, 4:30 p.m. at the gym. Cross country is also going to start on July 8th. They're going to start at 6 p.m. They'll meet there probably in the parking lot of Riverside High School because Riverside is a good point to start a lot of long distance runs. They've got all sorts of trails and parks to use. So they may be going to a different one every practice, but we'll start there at that Riverside High School. Okay, so we'll be checking for all of those components that we asked you to bring. And so Ms. Wiggins has typed in those items there in the chat box as well if you need a list of that. So you need to have those ready to go on that first practice. When your athlete arrives for that first practice, as I just said, we'll be checking for that. Temperatures will be taken at the door. We'll use the forehead temperatures, and 100.4 is the generic cutoff that all places around the city are using. That's what we will use as well. But if your athlete rides their bike to practice or walks, and it is a hot day, their temperature is going to rise and probably rise above that 100.4. And so we will let them cool off, let them sit and rest, and we'll take temperatures intermittently until it drops below that safe level there. Athletes will also be asked about their COVID symptoms, the generic ones, all those symptoms that was listed in that packet there. We'll be asking for those. Anyone showing symptoms during practice, we'll move them off. We'll have a containment room. We'll contact you, the parent, and we'll send them home, and we'll want to see a medical checkup from there. Every case will be different. Okay, every case will be different, and so we will be monitoring students and their symptoms that they might be showing. Please do not send your athlete if they have symptoms. Last night at the Heron meeting, a parent asked, well, what if the kid lies on this? Well, unfortunately that is possible, but we sure hope that it doesn't happen. It puts too many people at risk and in jeopardy, and especially the team as a whole could be shut down for a period of time. So we'll be paying closer attention to the volleyball team and as they are in the gym and inside the building, while the other sports, soccer and cross country, are outside. And so they'll have less restrictions, but again, a positive test, we'll talk about later, could mean a cancellation for a period of time here. As we just mentioned about masks, they're required at Riverside High School at all times, even when the students are going to be in school. Okay, they'll need to have their mask with them. So let's get used to wearing those now. Coaches have been instructed when to wear the masks and when they can take them off. Basically, the activity level is going to determine when masks are going to be worn. The restrooms will be open. Those ones in the gym, okay, they'll be open, but the water fountains are turned off. Okay, they'll be shut down. Unfortunately, right now, the way that our bottle fillers are plumbed, they're plumbed directly with the water fountains. So when we shut the water fountains down, we've already shut the water bottle filler off too. So we are contracting with our plumbing company, and they are installing a third water bottle filler in Riverside, and then they're also going to go back and separate the water fountain from the filler, and hopefully we'll be able to shut the water fountains off, which is what is required according to Marion County health departments, but we can keep the water bottle fillers on. So right now the water bottle fillers are off, so it's important that they make sure that they have plenty of supply of water that they bring with them. Locker rooms are going to be locked, even though it says, I think in the state mandates that they could be like 50% usage, but we're not even going to have that. So we're going to shut the locker rooms down. We need everybody to come dressed and ready to play. We do have a robust cleaning schedule. I'm actually the one that's heading that up there at Riverside. I'll be talking with my cleaning crew and making sure that the entire gym is disinfected and cleaned after every group. That's what is mandated, not just daily, but after every group. So if Heron's volleyball team is practicing, we must clean before Riverside's volleyball team comes in. So that will be done. We are going to put it onto the coaches that if any equipment is used, then that they need to clean that equipment, such as volleyballs or other types of weightlifting equipment, that type. They'll be disinfecting those after every practice. Riverside is going to just these first 2 weeks focus on conditioning. We're not going to do any drills. Okay, we're not going to be sharing equipment. We're no team scrimmages or anything like that. And the basic rule is we don't want any touching for these first couple weeks, as as things go on. So no hugs, no happy to see you, no high fives or anything like that. Celebratory actions there. As we mentioned, you must have your to-go bag when you come. You must bring water. We'd prefer it to be a jug, but instead of, you don't want the hand-sized bottle, like the 20-ounce bottles. Don't bring those. That's not enough water for a 2-hour practice. So please bring enough water. Well, I just thought of something. Cross country may want you to bring those smaller ones because they're easier to handle. But that'll be up to Coach Doctor to handle that. We do want a small bottle of hand sanitizer with everybody. So pack that into the bag along with the first aid kit. Nothing too large on the first aid kit. Your coach is not going to be putting Band-Aids on your kid. You may need to teach your athlete how to do that. So please do that. So we're expecting nothing more than Band-Aids, Neosporin, maybe some gauze, that type of thing, but nothing big. Now, if something happens during practice and a coach needs to step in to offer aid, like a really bad, the person falls down, cuts their leg, that type of thing, any real medical emergency that takes place, then we'll make sure that the student is taken care of. Also, snacks, okay? Practices are long. They'll be taking breaks. A good snack can help out a long way. We will not be handing out snacks. Haven't even made the decision yet as to what our concession stand is going to look like during games or even before practices. We kind of got into a pattern of trying to get the kids something to eat before a game last year. Well, that we don't even know what that looks like yet. So please be mindful of that. We may have to start packing your kids a second lunch if they are an athlete. It's always a good idea there. So just a reminder that this summer is for improvement, mainly conditioning, okay? So if you're a senior or an upperclassman and you're going to be a varsity athlete, if you want your team to do well, then it starts with you and the work that you're going to put in the summer. So make sure that you are doing things here that'll make you get stronger, run longer, and improve your skills. Those are the main things that we would like to see over the summer. However, participation at Riverside High School with your coach is optional during July. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything at all. If you can't be there, if you work, if you summer academy, if that's taking a lot of your time, then yeah, contact your coach. Get with your coach, find out what can I do. More than likely they'll have a good home workout for you that will more include like long distance running and stretching and lifting things around the house, that type of thing. Stay active, okay? Find your workout plan. If you need help with that, contact us, contact your coach, okay? There are summer teams that are going around right now. They're forming, they're playing. If you do that, we ask, please stay safe, okay? Stay safe and stay healthy. While we're not going to say you can't do that, well, we're not going to do that. We're just going to say, okay, take the precautions, the needed precautions, and stay safe and healthy, okay? Again, here's the July 8th for girls volleyball, starting at 4:30. July 8th for cross country as well, 6 p.m. Start there. If you're a basketball player, please contact Coach Doan and Coach V. They have workouts for you, even though they're not starting up at Riverside. Okay, they will have home workouts for you to do in order to do that. But I would strongly encourage you, if you are a basketball player or if you're a softball player, if you want to improve here during the off season, the number one way you can do that is join a fall sport. We are a 1A school. Our mantra should be, oh, you're a basketball player. What's your other sport? Because we're a 1A school, we don't have enough athletes to individualize. That is, we just don't have enough athletes to just be basketball players and everything else can exist on its own. We need multi-sport athletes, and those are the best kind of athletes. You don't want to limit yourself to just one. You want to broaden your athletic abilities and to participate in sports. So participate in soccer, participate in cross country, basketball players. If you don't like soccer, run cross country. You want to be a better basketball player, increase your stamina, okay? And especially with our basketball court. You guys know our basketball court, it's a college length floor. It's longer than a regular high school floor. So your stamina is very important, okay? If you need information, social media pages are the way to go. This is the Riverside Athletics one. I'll update those as much with information as we can. All schedules are on eventlink.com. I really like eventlink.com. They're coming out with new programs all the time that it looks like that this is going to be the place where I'm going to be my one-stop shop. So get onto eventlink.com, follow Riverside High School there, and you'll get access to the schedule. When there's an update to the schedule, you'll get the update as well. Boys basketball and cross country have their own Instagram and Twitter pages as well, which coaches will use to relay information. Our athletics website, goriversideathletics.com, is where you can find all the forms that you need and all the information. So real quick, I'm just going to flip through these, introduce our coaches. Coach Vidra Abernathy is our girls basketball coach. You'll see him around school. He helps out a lot during the day as well. Our head basketball coach is Coach Doan there in the middle. Please contact him if you have any questions about basketball. Our softball team, huge team. We were so excited to have them, but then their first season got cut off because of COVID and they weren't able to participate. Coach Van Sickle is our head girls softball coach. Soccer coach is Mr. Dennison. You'll see him around school. He's an English teacher. We're hoping to separate into girls and boys soccer teams if we can get enough participation there. Mr. Dennison is the contact for all Riverside soccer. Our track coach, Chicago Dave, Coach Wilkins. Okay, he's man, you get to meet him. He'll put a smile on your face real quick. And I believe he helps coach his Heron volleyball team. So he's one of them that's doing double duty there for both schools. We don't want to lose this guy. He's amazing. We do have a bowling team at Riverside. It was going to start this year, but COVID shut them down. Bowling for IHSA is a partnership between Special Olympics and the IHSA. And so it is a champions together sport, if you would, which means there's some rules about who can participate. Students with IEPs and 504 plans have to make up a certain percentage of the roster. And so Coach Jewett, she's amazing. She's going to help, or she's going to lead that effort up as well. Here is our brand new volleyball coach, okay, Coach Altwell. He actually refereed several of our volleyball matches over the years, the last couple of years. So you may recognize him. He's got a long history of coaching college and high school aged kids in Syria. Syria is his homeland, but he's been here for a few years in America. But he's coached at the academy. You may have seen him up there, and so you'll get to meet him come Wednesday. And then I introduced Coach Doctor being here in the meeting. He's here ready to go, ready to help us create a great program for our cross-country team. We're still looking for some coaches here. We're looking for a second soccer coach. And in that way, when we do branch off into boys and girls, we'll have that ready to go. And we lost Miss Foy, our cheer coach. She's no longer teaching at Riverside. She's moved on, so we are looking for a cheer coach this year. All right. We are all proud to be Argonauts, ready to go, ready to start up, but we do need to be careful. And that was all this back to play meeting is about. So let me stop here and ask if you have any questions, you can use your microphone to ask, or you can use the chat box. Either one will help you out. How can we help you guys? Any information that I missed? Ms. Wiggins, are we okay with the information?
Yeah, sounds pretty good. Just as you guys are spreading information around, just make sure you have the forms necessary, especially on those first days where you won't be able to participate. So don't forget your paperwork. Don't forget your water. That's the most important things. I'm not sure if Coach Rusty said if you don't bring water, you won't be able to participate. So that's super, super important. So yeah, just have your paperwork ready to go and your masks and your to-go bag. You'll be good.
Okay. Thank you. All right. If you have no questions, you are free to go. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. I do have this meeting recorded, and I'll post it on our website in case you know any other parents that missed the meeting.